Sidney Cook was born in Ellsworth in 1837 and moved to Ashland with his family in the 1840s. At age 18, he ventured to Boston and signed on with a whaling ship. It turns out that Sidney loved to sail and was very good at it. In 1862, he moved to California where he heard of a shipwreck. SS Golden Gate off the west coast of Mexico, carrying gold and coins. The SS Golden Gate was the fastest clipper ship of its day, and it was prestigious to sail aboard the ship. During the 1860s, the gold rush was taking place in California. Due to the outlaws robbing banks and trains, many of those who had recently made their fortunes from gold did not trust banks and were known to carry their money in belts around their waists. Confident of his own diving abilities, he put together a crew and went in search of treasure. Keep in mind that there was no GPS, loan, or sonar in those days. This meant that Cook had to navigate using the stars and his wits. Cook and his crew discovered $750,000 worth of gold and coins from this shipwreck. Also, taking place in the country during the 1860s was the Civil War. The crew was not certain what to do after bringing up all of that money. They feared if they returned to the U.S., the money would be taken away, and maybe they would end up fighting in the Civil War. As a result, the crew went to Mexico, but soon got homesick. Finally, they made a plan to return to San Francisco and ask the courts for a marine salvage fee, something that had never been heard of. The court awarded 1/3 of that recovered to the crew. Cook realized they did not get all of the money and returned looking for more. He outmaneuvered other salvagers now in the quest and found another huge quantity. In 1865, after the Civil War, he returned to Presque Isle, married, and built his home on the northeast corner of State and 3rd Streets in 1870. However, he still had wanderlust. He decided his next adventure would be to go to Florida and grow oranges. Although Central Florida has a thriving citrus industry, this venture did not turn out well for Cook, and he returned home where he lived out the remainder of his life. The home is now owned by the Glidden family. Harold Glidden played a key role in establishing WEGP radio and WAGM television here in Presque Isle. As a side note, a descendant of Sidney Cook established Cook's Florist on Main Street, which is still operated today by a Cook descendant.